The Australian Podcast Awards take place, the latest from Podnews.net with Climavores, the podcast for healthy food and a healthy planet.
Welcome to the Australian Podcast Awards 2022, powered by iHeart. Live from the Seymour Centre's Everest Theatre, Sydney. Please welcome your host, Mitch Shuri.
The Australian Podcast Awards are announcing the winners in Sydney in Australia. Hosted by Mitch Shuri, these are the 6th awards with more than 30 different categories. In Australia, Rupert Murdoch's News Corp has placed true crime podcasts into a new, early, exclusive and ad-free paid subscription on Apple Podcasts. Audio Drama Hub's Podfest in High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire in the UK took place over the weekend. There's pictures and highlights on their social media. The finalists of the Audioverse Awards were announced. They're an annual celebration dedicated to the greatest people and productions in immersive audio fiction around the world. Libsyn's Advertisecast has signed an exclusive partnership with Not Even Mad, a new political debate podcast. Spotify announced the expansion of NextGen, Spotify's program designed to grow podcast culture on college campuses to historically black colleges and university campuses across the US. Writing on Mastodon, Leo Laporte likens the current implosion of Twitter to where podcasts might end up. If you like podcasts, he says, use an RSS-based podcast player and support the open ecosystem. And the Earbuds Podcast Collective this week focuses on 5 podcast episode recommendations from Canadian podcasters. And if you're on Mastodon, we are too. You can follow us by searching for updates at podnews.net. And in podcast news, What Was That Like?, hosted by Scott Johnson, has surpassed 5 million downloads. The show features first-hand stories of extremely unusual events, such as a plane crash, a terrorist attack, or winning on a TV game show. The current episode is with Ella, a New York farmer who was attacked by an elephant in Thailand. What was that like? Hosted by Lola Del Carril, who at 24 became the first female play-by-play commentator of a men's soccer match in Argentina, the Spanish-language Cada Cuatro looks at how the FIFA World Cup became the world's most important and corrupt sporting event. It's a Sign, your daily astrology tip, was launched today by Listener, promising studied, considered astrology based on planetary transits, moon phases and cosmic weather. Aussie rival iHeart launched an astrology show last week. And what if men could get pregnant? The Dragoning feed contains The Chip today, a new speculative fiction audio play about an experimental piece of tech. It's from the Messenger Theatre Company. This podcast is sponsored by Climavores. Climavores is a podcast for eaters who are trying to navigate the complex relationship between healthy food and a healthy planet. Hosted by journalists Tamar Haspel and Mike Grunwald, they explore the complicated, confusing and surprising relationship between food and the environment. From Postscript Media, listen to Climavores wherever you get your podcast. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.